Stop demanding the whole road before you are willing to take the first step. That habit has killed more ambition than failure ever did. You decide you want something, and almost immediately the mind begins asking questions it cannot yet answer. How will I afford it? How will I meet the right people? How will I find the opportunity? How will I know which road is correct? How long will it take? What if the plan changes? Then uncertainty enters, desire weakens. You begin reducing the goal until it fits what you already understand. That is backwards. The purpose of a definite aim is not to describe only what your present knowledge can already reach. A definite aim gives direction to powers that have not yet been fully organized. Sai, when your first responsibility is to know what you want clearly enough that your mind can recognize what belongs to it, and strongly enough that temporary confusion does not make you rewrite the destination every week. The road can change, but the purpose should not change merely because the road is not visible yet. Understand the distinction. Certainty about the aim is different from certainty about the method. You may be completely certain that you intend to build financial independence and still not know every enterprise or opportunity that we contribute to it. That is not weakness. That is reality. No serious undertaking reveals every step at the beginning. Banned. The man who refuses to move until the entire road is visible will remain where he is. The man with a definite purpose takes the step that is visible, then uses the new position to see farther. That is how great plans are built. One decision reveals information that hesitation could never provide. One introduction leads to another. Action produces information. This is why endless worry about how becomes so dangerous. You are trying to obtain from thought what only movement can teach. Thought has its place. But when thought reaches the limit of available information, do not sit there demanding certainty from an uncertain future. Leader man often believes he is being practical when he is actually being afraid. If certainty about the method becomes a condition for action, ambition will be reduced to whatever is already familiar. You will choose only roads you have traveled before, and that is not growth. Growth requires territory you do not yet understand. Your job is not to eliminate all uncertainty. Your job is to become strong enough to act intelligently inside it. Begin with definite desire. Do not say, I want success. Give desire shape. A definite chief aim makes selection possible and organizes your attention toward opportunity. Okay? So stop demanding the whole road before you take the first step. Action produces information. Take the visible step and use your new position to see farther. Commitment makes perception selective. Before commitment, an opportunity has no category in the mind. After commitment, the mind knows exactly what it is searching for. It recognizes connections, remembers names, asks better questions, and notices useful information. But there is something deeper. A man with a definite purpose behaves differently around other people. He speaks with more clarity. He can explain what he is building and ask for relevant counsel. Vagueness isolates, while clarity attracts cooperation because other minds can finally understand where their effort might fit. Only specific purpose makes useful association possible. Before you worry excessively about how make the what unmistakable, what do you want? Why do you want it? What are you willing to give in useful service in return? Put those answers into definite language, then read them until the aim becomes completely familiar. Repeated thought creates emphasis. And what you emphasize repeatedly begins affecting your selection, expectation, and conduct. Autosuggestion must never become an excuse for passivity. You repeat the aim so that your faculties remain organized while you work. You do not need the whole plan to take a real step. You only need enough clarity for the next step. Living this requires discipline because the mind naturally wants to escape uncertainty by building imaginary future problems. Why solve the 10th problem before the first problem even exists? Deal with reality in sequence. Ask yourself, what is required now? What information is needed now? What decision belongs to this moment? Future problems will receive future intelligence. Trust yourself enough to meet them when they become real. Distinguish planning from prediction. Planning says, based upon present facts, this is the best route I can see. Prediction says this route must unfold exactly as imagined. Never demand prediction. A good plan is allowed to change. Purpose gives continuity while plans adapt. The man with the strongest purpose is often the most flexible in method because he is attached to the destination, not the road. Be definite about your purpose, but remain teachable about your method. This single distinction will save you from enormous frustration, makes association possible. Be definite about your purpose, flexible about your method, and deal with reality in sequence. Do not personalize every obstacle you encounter. The market does not know your feelings, an account does not know your ambition, and a skill does not care how badly you want mastery. Conditions respond strictly to preparation, value, timing, and action. Work with causes. That is accurate thinking. Most men interpret temporary delay as final rejection, giving temporary evidence far too much authority. A definite aim must survive ordinary resistance. Otherwise, it was never a true purpose, merely a soft preference. And when the road becomes inconvenient, study the resistance instead of retreating in fear. A closed door may reveal that your skill is weak. Good, strengthen it. A rejected proposal may reveal that your offer is unclear. Good, improve it. A financial obstacle may reveal that you need more patience and reserve. Good, build them. Once you change your posture, the obstacle becomes direct instruction. Difficulty is not disqualification. It is the exact training required to develop the capacity your ambition demands. Lens. Stop allowing other people to demand the whole plan before they respect your aim. A new purpose often looks unreasonable to people who can see only your present resources. When they ask how you will do it, and you do not yet know, do not become defensive or invent false details. Say clearly, I know the result I intend to create, and I am working out the method. That is enough. False certainty is weakness. But definite purpose requires no pretending. It simply requires refusing to doubt. Abandon what you want, merely because some details remain unknown. There is immense strength in saying, I have not solved that yet. The word yet leaves the mind open to discovery and transforms uncertainty into an investigation. A man who says, I cannot do this, closes all inquiry. But the man who asks, how might this be done, directs his thought toward leverage. You are no longer standing before the unknown as a passive victim. You are studying it. That single change in language alters your entire posture and sets the mastermind principle into motion. Work with causes, not feelings. Obstacles are instruction, not disqualification. Turn every unknown into an active investigation. Trusting the unfolding road does not mean sitting still and expecting circumstances to arrange themselves for you. It means moving with enough faith to act before every detail has been explained. The passive man waits for absolute proof, while the purposeful man creates proof through movement. He takes the next intelligent step, observes what that step reveals, and then takes another. You do not discover the whole route from the starting point. You discover it exclusively by advancing. Shendia. If your definite purpose requires greater resources, do not spend 6 months worrying because the final source has not been revealed. Ask what you can strengthen right now. Can you improve your skill? Can you become more valuable where you presently work? Can you test a small idea before risking heavily? These are real moves. Take them. One move reveals another, providing the practical data required to adjust your course intelligently. Many men confuse faith with rigid attachment. They insist this must happen exactly this way. That is not faith, that is insistence. True faith says, I know what I intend to create, and I will remain alert, disciplined, and adaptable while the method develops. This gives life room to surprise you with unexpected openings without leaving you directionless. Preparation and alertness are your responsibility. Prediction is not. A prepared mind recognizes usefulness the moment it appears, and bring your forces together around your central purpose. So you can recognize distractions disguised as opportunities. Once you become ambitious, many roads will appear, some profitable, some exciting, some praised by others. But if they carry you away from your chief aim, they are merely expensive distractions. A man uncertain of what he wants is easily seduced by whatever shines, but certainty simplifies selection and protects concentration. Direct your effort, stay long enough for effort to compound, and do not spend your life changing roads to avoid hills. Hills. Okay? The purposeful man creates proof through movement. Focus on preparation and alertness. Stay adaptable and refuse to let shiny distractions scatter your forces. Diagnose your state before changing direction. Emotional weather must never govern long-term purpose. A tired man may believe the goal is wrong when he simply needs rest. A discouraged man may believe the method is impossible when he simply needs new information. A frightened man may believe the timing is wrong when he simply fears exposure. Ask yourself what actually changed the objective facts or merely your feelings about those facts. If the facts changed, review the plan. If only your feelings changed, continue until clearer evidence appears. Turn uncertainty into constructive research. Do not ask helpless questions like, what if everything fails? Ask constructive questions like, what specific assumptions support this plan and how can they be verified? Questions direct thought, and the mind searches according to the question you give it. When you possess enough knowledge for a reasonable first move, make it and learn from the consequence. Real confidence grows not because you know every answer in advance, but because you discover your capacity to adapt when you do not, and preserve your independence of thought while remaining teachable. Separate objective facts from another person's personal limitations. A man may tell you something cannot be done simply because he cannot imagine himself doing it or because his temperament avoids uncertainty. Listen, study, but make your own decision. Keep returning to the core foundation. What do I want? Why do I want it? What am I willing to give in return? What principles will I refuse to violate? Balanced. Finally, learn to pursue intensely without clutching desperately at every outcome. You cannot command every process to mature before it has completed what maturity requires. A crop has a season, trust has a season, skill has a season, and capital has a season. Prepare the ground, work faithfully, and let faith create steady persistence rather than frantic pressure. When your purpose remains fixed while your methods stay flexible, uncertainty loses its power to frighten you, and the road forward makes itself known. Diagnose before changing direction. Turn uncertainty into active research. Remain adaptable in your methods, and let persistent action reveal the full road.